Your reaction to Nathan Hochman, and particularly one of the things that had been addressed over the weekend, and a lot of speculation was there a disagreement between the LAPD and the DA's office? Your opinion after hearing the DA?
Well, what was left unsaid here, I'll start with what you ended with. The judge ordered the medical examiner to release the report. Do you know why the judge ordered the medical examiner to release the report? The DA forgot to mention that he went in not once, but twice. First time was rebuffed by a judge to shut down the medical examiner from releasing the report or talking about this report because precisely the DA's office was at odds and LAPD was at odds with the medical examiner. Don't believe me? Go onto the website, check out the press releases, not once, but twice by the medical examiner. 43 years I've been doing this. I've never seen that happen before or during. In fact, I was in a trial just last month where I asked one of the people from the medical examiner's office, have you ever seen this before? And he said, never. And so this idea that somehow there was no friction, there was no odds, that we just arrested this guy, LAPD arrested him on a Thursday, and we didn't have a complaint, we didn't have a grand jury indictment. Let me tell you what is really happening here, because you didn't exactly get, in my opinion, the straight story. What is happening here is LAPD masterfully played the DA's office to force them into filing this case. DA's office was not ready to file this case. They have to now file it. And by the way, it's not just me. The defenders, not public defenders, private counsel who appeared today, they said, we want our preliminary hearing and we want it now, in spite of the fact that there's terabytes and terabytes. I don't even know that most people understand the volume of information. And by the way, if this was such a clear-cut case, why did it take them 7 or 8 months? And why did the DA have to go outside? Why did he, first of all, muzzle the coroner and then hire outside experts?
I do have a question about that. He indicated today there's no smoking gun, but it's the totality of the evidence, and they had to talk about not just how Celeste died, but who did this. And they filed multiple special circumstances, so essentially different theories to different paths of conviction, lying in wait, that she was a witness to an investigation, financial gain, and you talked about whether there were cooperating or non-cooperating witnesses, terabytes of data. This feels like a big, perhaps a challenging case to defend in the end. I mean, where do you see this? Again, I know you don't know all the evidence, and neither do we, but you know they seem confident saying he's not the cause of death. But how do you defend something like this?
Well, I will tell you how you do it. When you open up the discovery and you see that the medical examiner was not ruling this a homicide to begin with, when you see that LAPD internally, and they will get this because it's exculpatory evidence, had repeatedly said, you've reported on it, said we don't even know that a crime was here. They then file charges where they say it was with a blunt instrument. Well, duh, they knew that because the body was dismembered, and that required a blunt instrument. That doesn't mean that was the cause of death. That could have been after death. They still don't have a cause of death. They don't know whether it was an accidental overdose, how she died, when she died, or anything else. Everything about this case just reeks. And so I would respectfully, Jesse, disagree. I think the defense is going to have a field day with this case because of the way that it's been approached.
Which brings me to another point. You are the go-to attorney in Hollywood. How come you're not representing David Anthony Burke right now?
You know, there was a report today, I don't know if it was the New York Post or the California, you know, different people want different style lawyers, and I get that. And this is a capital case, and for a capital case, the resources you would need to defend that are astronomical, and so I'll leave it at that.
Okay, that's fair. I guess the question becomes, you know, as we're looking at this, and I thought it was really interesting, you know, the cooperating witnesses, the non-cooperating witnesses, and whether it goes to a grand jury. I still raise the question. It seems very difficult, if the allegations are true or what they're asserting here, that David did this by himself or allegedly did this by himself. I think the other people potentially around him are going to be another part of this story. I might be wrong, but where do you see this? Because if that's the case, that might complicate this case in different ways.
Well, absolutely it complicates the case, because if they were given immunity, the DA said they were given subpoenas. Nobody who's a sentient being is going to go in and testify in a murder investigation without immunity if you get subpoenaed. If they were given immunity, then the question becomes, what was their story before immunity? What was their story after immunity? Do you have documentary evidence? They discussed today, at least the DA did, that there was digital and forensic style or evidence, and if that is the case, one would hope that they had that and that they had preserved that. If that were the case also, though, it begs the question. If you had, I know how long it takes to get cell phone evidence, cell tower evidence, and text messages. If you had that, and law enforcement could get that within a week, and you had video from the cameras both inside the house and inside the car, once again, why was LAPD 2 months into this investigation saying they weren't sure a crime had been committed? Why in the world did it take 8 months for this gentleman to be arrested? And by the way, why was he arrested and the DA had not filed a complaint or had presumably asked the grand jury to indict? This idea, by the way, of an investigative grand jury and a criminal indicting grand jury is really, with all respect, nonsense. Grand jury operates on the 13th floor of the criminal courts building. Any grand jury that is impaneled there to hear evidence can indict. So that's just a cop-out, frankly.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.